Hi everyone and welcome to this Gumroad tutorial, portrait sketch process. My name is Anotjer and there you can find also my website anotjer.net or .com. And well, we're gonna start showing the process. As you can see, there are three files. You can find the PSD, long version of this video that is like around 1 hour, and this one that is a little bit speeded up, so it will take around 20-25 minutes. Well, while I will try to explain some stuff and some process. Uh, this process is very basic. Generally, I don't follow just one style of painting or drawing. Depending on what I'm doing, I switch between different processes and techniques. In this case, I keep very simple. As you can see, I made like a very simple background to get some colors and some tones, and then in a second layer I started doing a shape with the lasso tool. I drew a very basic shape and now I'm painting over it. First I start with a simple brush, this soft brush, trying to find the neutral colors that I want to add, and then adding the lighter spot and also the darker spot. In this case, as you can see, I'm adding some dark blue on the top, that will be the hair, and in the right side, the shoulder, you will see that white, that probably will be the brightest the brightest area in the painting. Right now I'm making some basic selections. I will change the structure of the face for sure later, but well, right now what I'm just doing is adding a little bit more of color information and light, and revealing what it looks like a face. As you can see, I'm keeping it very simple. I'm using this big round brush. It looks almost like a Gaussian blur image. I don't want to focus right now on detail, and as you will see later, I didn't add too much. I didn't pay too much attention to detail. What I'm doing here, it's adding some selection, adding some light with the selection tool again, and painting over. Sometimes I like to add like some sharp edges where strong light is hitting. I suppose that you have noticed that I flip the image a lot, like flip horizontally. That way it helps me a lot to see or to detect any mistakes in the face or any composition mistakes as well. Again, here I'm adding more sharp edges for light. Usually it's like when there's like a big difference between dark and light, it's when I try to keep it a little bit more sharp. It gives you a lot. It gives a lot of flavor. If you see shadows and how shadows act, the stronger the shadow, the light is, the stronger the shadow will be, and the sharper will be. Meanwhile, when there are some parts of the face that has like more rounded surfaces, and the shadow will be a little bit more subtle. The face structure will change a little bit for sure later, but well, now I'm just like focusing on the overall image, and then I will try to correct some anatomy mistakes. Right now I'm doing a little bit with that with Liquify. If you go to filter Liquify, it's pretty useful to do little changes in the nose or the lip. It helps me a lot when I see something wrong in the eye, or the nose is a little bit big. In 2 minutes with Liquify you can correct it. Now I'm doing that in the nose because I feel that it's very big and I want to have like a more gentle face. Here I'm using a lot of soft brushes. Sometimes when I'm painting a man's face, I use a slight different technique. Not technique, but I use different brushes with more texture and harder brushes. Usually women have like a softer skin, and if you apply too much hard brushes, it doesn't look very good. So I keep those strong strong brushes for when I'm painting a man's face. If you pay attention to the face, there's a lot of different tones happening in there. There's a lot of reds, but a lot of bluish and green and some purples as well. I find that yeah, it's one of the things that makes portrait look more interesting is when you play a little bit with these subtle tones. Add some colds in the face, because I mean if you analyze the face, it absorbs the skin absorbs a lot of light and a lot of colors from the environment. Here, as you see, this shadow is a little bit in green. Usually I try to keep a little bit of cold tones in the eyes, and under the nose as well. You can see that it's a little bit of gray gray blue tone. Also in the whole painting, even in her the fabric that covers her has a lot of different tones, like more colored yellows, but also if you see in the bottom there you can see some blue happening as well. I spent a lot of time in the nose. I don't know why. I wasn't very happy, and I was just flipping the image over and over again, and I was seeing like something weird happening there. So I took my time and tried to work on it. Probably one of the problems here that I saw later is that the face was very big for that nose and those eyes. This is something that I will correct later, and I will like make the yaw a little bit less stronger. Now again I use a little bit of liquify, as you can see, and that helped me to correct a little bit the nose. Yeah, a lot of work. Sometimes it's hard when you struggle with something and you see that there's something wrong there. It's better to spend your time trying to correct before starting working in other areas, because if you're not happy with that, and the face is the most important part in this portrait, and you can have like some mistakes in the shoulders or in the background or what's happening there, but the face, the main focal point in this painting is the nose and eyes. So I mean, even with values, as you see, it has very high values, the nose. There's a lot of bright happening there, so your eyes are going to the nose. So I really needed to be sure and happy with what was going on there. Flipping the images again is like very important. I added a shortcut in my computer, so that way it's way easier for me to keep flipping, and I don't spend so much time uh, checking the menu. Now that I reworked the nose and also I'm working a little bit in the mouth, is when I see that the mouth was like very low and the jaw is too wide, so I will correct it later. Right there you can see how just correcting a little bit how the face changes and everything makes more sense. Now I saw that her chest was very low, so I'm correcting the anatomy a little bit. That's good because I didn't spend any time detailing anything on the bottom, so now's the time to start defining defining the anatomy and do the corrections that I need. I will try to keep the veil and the bottom part of the image very simple, because I want just to focus the attention in the face. If you over detail everything, it will look like too overloaded, and your eye is gonna start wandering around the image with no central focus. So it's better to keep simple in the areas that you don't want to show that much, and spend that extra time polishing just the part that you really want to be the focal point. In this case is the face. During the whole process I kept very simple with layers again. This is just a personal choice, because in this kind of drawings I kind of like to have the feeling of painting in traditional. So I just have 2 layers, one for the background and the other one for the figure right now. Sometimes if I'm going to work in the nose or some very sensitive places that maybe can screw up the image, I do it in an extra layer, just in case I don't like it and I have to come back. But generally, yeah, I'm always embedding and just working with 2 layers for this kind of sketches. Here I'm using the lasso tool. It's very useful to make some selection with curves, because Photoshop is not very good with freehand selection. Yeah, I'm working a little bit in the veil now. As you can see, I'm also adding hard edges when there's a big difference in values. Now that I'm working in the fabric, in the veil, is when I'm adding some different textures, and well, basically I'm painting with a brush with a little bit of grain. I don't want to have all the materials in this painting feel like the same. Skin will be softer than the fabric in the veil, for example. So this is what I want to achieve. At this point, more or less, I can see the full image and how it will look at the end. Now it's just about to add some little hints of light and some different brush strokes to make it like a little bit richer. But overall, what it's now, it won't change that much. If you check this image in a small thumbnail, you won't feel the difference with the final image probably. What I want now is, like, now that everything is more or less done, the skin was too soft, so I'm adding some little small brush strokes that will give a little bit more of texture. But again, because I told you before, it's a woman's face, so they need to be very subtle. If the texture is very strong, or you use very strong brushes, it won't look good in this image. I'm also smoothing a little bit in some areas. At this point, sometimes it's very tricky because I don't want to touch that much, because now that I see that the face works, Sometimes when you keep working and polishing and polishing again, and you lose that flavor of, or you lose this kind of fresh strokes that I had before. I don't know, I felt that like before when I was starting to do some portrait years ago, I was over polishing everything and it didn't look good. Now I really, sometimes the best solution is like to keep some hints and let the eye play a little bit and try to reveal what is hidden in some shadows or in that light. You don't need to show everything or polish everything or to paint every single hair in an image in a portrait to make it look good. That's why I started with a soft brush. It's better because you kind of forget about doing any detail and just pay attention on color and value. See that in the fabric, in the veil, I'm not just sticking with the pure white. I added some hints of pink and some yellow and a little bit of blue at the bottom as well. Now I'm correcting a little bit the image with liquify again. Probably I hope that they are the final touches. I'm going to do a last selection here with the pen tool to show a little bit of the reflection light in the chin. If you can see, her breast is getting a very strong light as well, so that light is reflecting on her chin. Having always in mind how light bounces, it's very important, and it will make your picture look more believable. Also, a part of flipping horizontally the image, it's also very useful to flip it vertically and see if the composition is still working. Now the image is more or less finished. I'm just like polishing little things, and I'm going to work a little bit in the background right now. I will keep it very simple. I don't want to focus in any. I don't want the eye to focus in the background. That's why I'm trying just to add some colors and a little bit of texture, but I don't want you guys to pay attention to the background. So it's mostly done. Now I've just been polishing a little bit more and breaking some hard edges that I had that were a little bit annoying. And yeah, that's all. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions, please just send me an email. You can go to my website, anotjer.net, and there I have a contact section, so where you can send me any message, or you can contact me through Facebook or Twitter or whatever you want. Thanks a lot, and I really hope to see you soon. Bye.